My name is Lieutenant Justin Newsom with APD Violent Crimes, and I'm here today to talk about 3 murders, actually. Murder 30, 31, and 32. Murder 30, we spoke about before. You guys have reported it before. It was on Wednesday, November 2nd at Capitol Plaza at approximately 1:30 in the morning. Mary Piette was identified as the victim. Witnesses observed her exit her vehicle, have a verbal confrontation with a male from another vehicle. A verbal exchange took place, and as the male was leaving the parking lot, he ran over Miss Piette, which led to her death. Through the investigation, the homicide detectives were able to identify a suspect in that, and on November 8th, Zachary Paul Locke, L-O-O-K-E, a 27-year-old Hispanic male, was arrested for Mary's homicide, charged with capital murder, actually. There's no bond, so he's still in custody. It was learned through the investigation that Mary was killed in the commission of a robbery, which is why it was charged as capital murder. We're still looking for the suspect vehicle that he was driving in that day. It's not a vehicle that he owns that we're aware of. Described as just simply as a blue 4-door sedan. There were other passengers in the car with him at the time that we still need to speak to, so we asked that anyone with information as to who those occupants were to give us a call. You know, people talk about these things when they're involved in them, and so if anyone has any information about this case and the occupants in the car at the time, we would love to hear from them. We still need that piece of information. Any questions on that?
Or do they expect to be charged? The other people?
Potentially. You know, anytime you're with someone and and they commit a crime and you're involved in it, you're charged with the same level of offense. And so it just depends. We need to talk to them. We need to figure out what they know. We need to figure out what their involvement was before we know that. So.
Why doesn't he have a bond?
Just because it's a capital murder, and based on, bonds are set based on people's criminal history and the severity of the crime. And so that combined had the judge give this one no bond.
What kind of criminal history does he have?
I don't recall exactly, but it was sufficient enough to get no bond.
You said it was happening during a robbery. Was the victim being robbed?
You couldn't tell from, the witnesses couldn't tell from what they observed, and obviously, the only person that we've been able to talk to in this that truly knows is the suspect, and he didn't corroborate, any of that information. But based on some items that were taken from her, and based on some things that we were able to see in a surveillance video, we have good reason to believe she was robbed.
So she would be an innocent victim?
Correct.
And she died from being hit by the car?
Yeah, she died from being run over by the car.
Did the suspect have a weapon?
Not that we were told about, none that was displayed. So. Okay, murder number 31. On Sunday, November 6th, at approximately 8:52 p.m., officers were dispatched to the 7400 block of Geneva in response to a man who was found lying unconscious on the side of the road. A passerby called him in. Upon arrival, officers and EMS found a male who was later identified as Kenneth Johnson, a black male born in 1997, found him unconscious and found him with multiple gunshot wounds on his body. It's believed, based on the evidence and the lack of other evidence at the scene, it's believed that he was shot somewhere else and brought to that location and dumped there. Follow-up investigation has led detectives to believe that prior to his death, he had been in the area of Manor Road and Sweeney Circle. So, again, we ask anyone who may know Mr. Johnson, who may have known where he was that night and what he was up to give us a call, to give us some information on this. There's a lot of gaps left in this case, a lot of pieces that we still need to plug in. So, there's been multiple, you guys have reported multiple cases out in the county, where people have been found like this. And so just as a follow-up, we are talking to the county right now. We're gonna meet, discuss these cases, and see if there's any similarities. But at the moment, we don't see any similarities between the two, just other than the circumstances.
But so just the county and also Bastrop County, obviously on the other side, they've all said that all of these are related to narcotics.
Yes.
And though you're saying there aren't any similarities, are you suggesting it's possible?
We've had, I'm not suggesting it's possible, but we've had that question given the fact that it's just a dumped body, which is not that common to occur. And the county's had several dumped bodies lately. And so we see no link between the two other than the circumstances. And we've had that question coming into it. finally, number 32 it is also the body that was dumped somewhere. Wednesday, November 9th, at approximately 7:30 a.m. in the 1400 block of Meander Drive, a Capital Metro bus driver called this in. Again, a person lying on the side of the road. So officers were dispatched. They found who was later identified as Tyler Athy, a white male born in 1992, lying in a pool of his own blood, and obviously deceased. Travis County EMS responded, but based on the condition of Mr. Athy at the time, it was obvious that he was deceased, so he was pronounced deceased immediately. And yesterday, actually this morning, Travis County medical examiners conducted an autopsy and ruled the death to be a homicide. I can't get into the specifics of what his injuries were. Those are investigative facts that we can't release. But it was obvious that he was dead. He was dead when everyone arrived. And we have very little information right now as to why he was in this area. Again, we need people who may know Mr. Athy, may know why he was in that area to give us a call. Even neighbors who may have been passing by in this area early in the morning and saw people hanging out, no matter how insignificant you think the information may be, it may be extremely significant to us. And so we ask the public's help in solving this crime.
Are you guys investigating 31 and 32 as linked?
No, nothing in them, again, other than the circumstances and how they were found. The manners in which they died were different. There's no connection when you do the victimology on both victims. There's no connection between those two people that we can discern. So there's no reason to believe they're related in any kind of way.
And is this one that you're also talking to the county about, or just 32?